All right, everyone, get ready, because today we're taking a deep dive into how to prepare for a communications lecturer interview.
Sounds exciting.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
This is a pretty unique role. I mean, you're not just teaching, you're doing research.
hmm
You're working with teaching assistants, research
Yeah,
assistants,
out of responsibility.
really dynamic. And we're going to cover a lot of ground today, so, to get everyone ready. We've
Absolutely.
got sample interview questions from RoleCatcher. We've got some great insights from their career guides.
Yeah.
And we're even going to sprinkle in how, their AI tools can actually help you tailor your answers, practice your answers, and really, crush this interview.
Be prepared.
Exactly.
Oh,
So let's jump right into it.
all right.
First up, the classic. What inspired you to pursue a career in communications?
It seems pretty straightforward,
Mm.
but this is where you really show that you're genuinely passionate
Yeah.
and interested in this field.
And it's easy to fall into the trap of giving a generic answer.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, oh, I love to communicate. But you gotta...
Right. I'm a people person.
Yeah, exactly. So how do you make your answer stand out? How do you really wow them?
Tell a story. Think about a specific moment, maybe a speech that you heard that, just moved you,
Yeah.
or a campaign that really made a difference, something where you witnessed the power of communication firsthand.
That's a great point. And since we're talking about a lecturer role, you got to weave in
Right.
elements of teaching or mentoring, right?
Absolutely.
Like I remember in that RoleCatcher Career Guide, it mentioned how lecturers inspire students, stay on top of communication trends, things like that.
Yeah.
You can subtly work that into your answer.
Yeah. Show them that you've thought about this specific role.
Okay.
And they might even ask a follow-up question like, what aspects of teaching communications excite you the most?
Oh, good point. Be ready for those follow-ups. All right, so you've nailed that passion piece. Now they hit you with, how do you stay up to date with the latest trends and developments in the communications field?
Okay, so this one is all about showing your dedication to continuous learning, especially because communications is such a rapidly evolving field.
It changes like every 5 minutes.
It does, yeah.
So what are some concrete things that you actually do to keep up?
Well, you can talk about specific actions you take, like subscribing to industry journals,
Okay.
attending conferences, joining professional organizations, all that good stuff.
Don't just list them off, though, right? I mean, give a recent example.
Yes.
Did you read a fascinating article, about a new communication trend? Did a speaker at a conference just blow your mind? Share it.
Right, make it memorable.
And this is actually where RoleCatcher can be a really helpful tool. I mean, their platform has a whole library of resources.
It really does.
Industry journals, they even have links to professional organizations.
It's fantastic.
So it's like having a one-stop shop for staying ahead of the curve. All right, let's move on to the next question.
Yeah.
Tell us about a project or initiative you led that involved effective communication skills. Time to shine.
Yes. This is your moment to really showcase your skills and experience.
For sure, for sure. So, choose an example that really highlights both your leadership and communication skills.
Right. And a helpful tip, structure your answer using the STAR method.
Oh, we'll love the STAR method.
Yeah. Situation, task, action, and result.
Keeps you focused.
Yes. And it helps you tell a clear and concise story.
And don't forget the numbers. Quantify your results whenever possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did your communication strategy boost engagement by, 20%? Did your presentation lead to a specific outcome, something measurable?
Right. They love to see those concrete results.
Mm-hmm. Now, be ready for follow-up questions here.
Oh, for sure.
They might ask about challenges you faced
Mm.
or how you measured the success of your communication.
Yes, they'll want to dig a little deeper.
So keep those follow-ups in mind when you're choosing your example.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's shift gears a bit and talk about career stages. Because the career guide, it actually outlines typical responsibilities for entry-level versus senior communications lecturers, which is important
Because you want to make sure that your answers are tailored to the specific position that you're interviewing for.
Exactly. Exactly. So if it's an entry-level role, you might focus on, your eagerness to learn, assist senior faculty, contribute to research projects, that kind of thing.
Right.
But if it's a senior role, you'd emphasize, experience leading courses, mentoring junior faculty,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even publishing your own research.
Yes, those are key differences.
Right. So understanding those nuances is crucial for tailoring your answers.
Absolutely. And you know what? RoleCatcher's AI resume builder can actually analyze the job description
Oh, wow.
and suggest skills and experience that you should highlight.
So it's like doing the heavy lifting for you,
It is, yes.
making sure your resume aligns perfectly with the role. Okay, let's get back to those interview questions. Here's one that could be a bit tricky. How do you tailor your communication style to different audiences and situations?
Yes. Adaptability. That's the key word here.
It is, it is. Because think about it, as a communications lecturer, you're going to be interacting with a lot of different people.
Right. Academic colleagues, industry partners.
Students.
Students, of course.
The wide range of audiences.
And formal lectures require a different approach than, giving feedback to a student one-on-one.
Absolutely. So you need to be able to adjust your communication style accordingly.
So give concrete examples. Like, have you ever had to explain a complex theory to a student who is just, completely lost? Or maybe you had to persuade a skeptical stakeholder to get on board with a new initiative.
Those are great examples of showcasing your versatility.
Exactly, and be prepared for those follow-up questions, too.
Oh, of course. They might ask about, specific communication challenges that you've had to overcome in the past.
Yes, they want to see how you think on your feet.
And you know what? This is where RoleCatcher's AI feedback tool can be a real game changer.
Whoa, we should definitely talk more about that.
We will. But I think we've covered a lot of ground already.
We have.
So we don't want to overwhelm everyone. But trust me, that AI feedback is a game changer. We'll dive into it next time.
Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deeper into those sometimes a little tricky communications lecture interview questions.
You got it. And today we're going to really focus on those questions that are designed to showcase your teaching skills, your expertise. So let's jump right in.
Okay.
First up, a big one. Describe your teaching philosophy.
Oh, this is a good one.
This is like your teaching manifesto.
All right.
What are your core beliefs about how students learn best? What kind of classroom environment do you strive to create?
Think about it. Do you prefer a student-centered approach where learning is more active, more collaborative, or are you more traditional, lecture-based?
Yeah, and there's no right or wrong answer here, but you got to articulate your approach clearly, give concrete examples of how you actually put it into practice.
Exactly. Talk about specific teaching methods that you've used, successfully, like incorporating technology, active learning activities, group work.
Yeah, and don't forget to highlight your commitment to diversity and inclusion, too.
Very important.
How do you make sure all students feel welcome, supported in your classroom?
They'll definitely be looking for that.
Okay, ready for one that often makes people nervous. How would you handle a student who is disrupting your class?
Oh, classroom management. It's essential.
It is, and they want to know that you can handle those sometimes challenging situations effectively.
Right. So start by describing your general approach to classroom management. Do you set clear expectations from the beginning? Do you have a system of rewards or consequences? Think about those things.
And then walk them through how you would specifically address that situation.
Right.
Would you speak to the student privately? Would you involve the, university student conduct office if needed? What would you do?
Right. They want to see that you have a plan, that you can maintain a positive learning environment for everyone.
Okay, let's talk assessment. How do you ensure that your assessments align with your learning objectives?
Oh, this is all about making sure you're actually measuring what you want students to learn.
It's all about that alignment.
Yes.
So first, explain how you develop those clear, measurable learning objectives for your courses. And then describe, the types of assessments that you use, how they directly evaluate those objectives.
Give a specific example.
Okay, so if a learning objective is for students to, let's say, analyze a communication campaign, maybe they create their own campaign as a final project.
That's a perfect example. You want that assessment to directly reflect the skills and knowledge they're supposed to be learning.
Exactly. And remember, assessment, it's not just about grades, it's also about providing valuable feedback to students.
Absolutely.
Speaking of feedback, RoleCatcher's AI, it can actually analyze your practice answers.
Oh, wow.
And give you personalized feedback on how to improve your responses to these very questions.
That's pretty cool.
It is. It is. All right, let's switch gears a bit and talk research. What are your plans for future research?
Classic question.
It is. And this is your chance to kind of beak out a bit. Share your passion for a specific area within communication.
Be specific. Mention potential projects, conferences you want to attend, collaborations you're seeking.
Yeah, and connect your research interest to the university's strengths or, ongoing research. It shows you've done your homework.
It does.
Okay, here's one that looks ahead. How do you see the field of communications evolving in the next 5 years?
Oh, think big picture here.
Yeah.
What are the emerging trends? What technologies are shaping communication? Think about social media, data analytics, AI.
It's changing so fast.
It really is. And how will all of that impact the way communication is taught and researched?
And how do you plan to stay ahead of those changes? Show them you're a forward-thinking, adaptable educator.
Right? Always learning.
Now, remember how we talked about RoleCatcher's AI-powered resume builder?
Yes, it helps you tailor your resume to specific jobs.
Well, their AI can also analyze your interview answers.
Really?
Yeah, providing feedback on clarity, structure, relevance to the role.
Wow.
It's like having a personal interview coach
That's awesome.
in your pocket.
Ah,
Okay, another challenging one. Describe a time when you had to adapt your teaching style to meet the needs of a diverse group of learners.
this is so important. Diversity and inclusion are essential in today's classrooms.
Absolutely, and they want to see that you can create a learning environment that works for everyone.
So think of a specific example where you had students with, different learning styles, backgrounds, abilities.
Mm.
What did you do to make sure everyone felt included and supported?
Mm.
Like, did you modify materials? Did you offer different types of assessments? Did you actively seek feedback from students to make sure you were meeting their needs? Give them a clear picture.
Yeah, and be prepared for follow-up questions about specific strategies you use to create a welcoming and inclusive environment.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk leadership. If you were offered this position, what would be your top priorities for the first year?
So this is about more than just getting the job. It's about showing that you're already thinking about how you'll contribute to the department.
Exactly. So what are your goals? Revamping a course, launching a new research project, mentoring junior faculty.
Be specific. Align your priorities with the department's needs and your own strengths.
And don't just say improve teaching. Explain how.
Right, give them details.
I know we've covered a lot, but we've got even more to come. All right, we're back for the final round of our communications lecture interview prep deep dive.
We've covered a lot of ground, but now it's time for the heavy hitters
Yes, the questions that really make you think.
and help you stand out from the crowd.
Exactly.
So let's dive in. First up, what is the biggest challenge facing the field of communications today?
This is where you show off those critical thinking skills.
And your understanding of the broader communication landscape.
It's a big question.
It is. It is. I mean, think about it. We're in this era of constant technological advancements, evolving media consumption habits, information overload, misinformation.
It's a lot to keep up with.
It is. So what resonates with you? Is it the spread of misinformation online? The erosion of trust in traditional media?
Right.
The difficulty of communicating effectively in a polarized world?
So many challenges.
I know, right? So choose a challenge that really speaks to you and be prepared to explain why it's significant.
And don't just point out the problem. Offer some solutions, some strategies for addressing that challenge.
Exactly. Show them you're a problem solver.
Yes.
All right, next question. What is a recent communication campaign that you admired and why?
So this is a chance to move beyond the theoretical and show that you're engaged with real-world communication.
Exactly. Exactly. Think about campaigns that were truly memorable.
The ones that stuck with you.
Yeah. Maybe a social media campaign that went viral, a public service announcement that raised awareness for an important cause, or a marketing campaign that actually changed consumer behavior.
Those are great examples.
And be specific about what impressed you. Was it the messaging, the visuals, the way they targeted their audience?
Break it down.
And here's a pro tip. Connect that campaign back to your own teaching or research interests.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. How might it inform your work in academia?
Show them you can connect theory and practice.
Okay, last question before we wrap up. If you were offered this position, what would be your top priorities for the first year?
They want to see that you're already thinking about how you'll contribute.
It's more than just getting the job.
Exactly.
So what's on your agenda? Revamping a specific course, launching a new research project, mentoring junior faculty.
Choose priorities that are meaningful to you, align with the department's goals, and highlight your strengths.
And be specific. Don't just say improve student engagement. Explain how you'll do it.
Give them details.
Okay, I think we've covered just about everything.
I think so too.
From those classic opening questions to the ones that really make you think.
And don't forget,
RoleCatcher.
RoleCatcher. Their AI platform can be such a valuable tool throughout this whole process.
It really can.
From tailoring your resume to practicing your answers, getting that personalized feedback.
It's like having a whole team of career coaches in your corner.
And with that, I think we're ready to wrap up this deep dive.
I think so too.
Remember, preparation is key, and your passion for communication, it'll shine through. We're excited for you to embark on this journey. Best of luck. You got this